Hello, everybody. Welcome to an SAP Chapter 4 Part 1 configuration guide. And in this section, in this video, we're going to be focusing on Chapter 4, which um, zooms in on procurement. So if we open up this Chapter 4 Part 1 model, again, we're going to start with the enterprise structure, set up the rules and parameters, metadata or master data, and then testing. So starting off with enterprise structure, we are going to begin by defining the plants. So in this section, we will create three GPI plants, Dallas, Miami, and San Diego. Each plant is located in the United States and operates within your legal entity, our company code. You will be given each you will give each plant a unique identifier, an address, and tax code. All right, so let's begin setting that up. So let's go ahead and simply follow this navigation path here. So remember, when it says the SAP Customization Implementation Guide, that is going to be that we have to type in S Pro up here, and then just click the image reference. And then we can see that it says Implementation Guide right up here. So if you guys forgot, that's what that means right there. And now we can follow the rest of this file path. Enterprise structure, definition, logistics dash general, define, copy. Is that it? Yeah. Define, copy, delete, and check plant. All right, here it is. So we got to check the T code. So hit additional information, display key, and image activity in case you forgot. And then you'll get this additional information. And that should be your T code there. Remember, the T code is the last four. So instead of following this file path, you can just simply enter those last four to enter into this screen here. So if we open up the screen, it says we're going to get this pop-up activity, which we do. And it says define plant. All right, so we're going to double click define plant. And now we should be in the change view plant overview, which we are. And now we're going to click on new entries. All right, new entries. So the new entries, details added of entries. Yep. We're going to enter this following information. So plant's going to be DL, distribution location. And now we are going to enter our number. And since we are GBI 026, we're going to enter our number to enter your number. Because as we can see here, we got the double pound sign or double hashtag sign. So enter your number in there. That's why I entered my number here. And then for the rest, I'm just going to copy and paste over the information with my correct identifier. And then, so it says plant name, and then factory calendar, which is right here. I'm gonna go ahead and open that up. And use usually at the bottom, scrolling all the way down. There we go, USA. All right, so the calendar ID is just going to be US. So we're going to double click that. Bam, got it. And now it says click address. And we can see the address is located right up here. So after you got those three sections of information typed in, let's go ahead and click on address or hit Shift and F5, and it'll bring this up as well. And now we're going to enter this data. So for title, it's just a drop down. We're going to click on company or name. We're just going to copy this information over with our unique identifier. And so 26 Dallas plant, and then search term half is going to be 0 with our unique identifier, which is 26. This is going to be our street location, which is right here, street there. House number is right next to it. So you can see here, see here how it says street, and then we want a house number. Oh wait, did I? Oh, you actually copied there. Okay, so there we go. So it says street, so this is gonna be our street, and our house number is gonna be right next to it. Zip code. City is Dallas. Country is going to be USA. I'm going to simply search for it. Scroll all the way down. Oh, maybe not. Looks like there's more. QRSTU. There it is. Okay, so it is still US. Double click in US. And then Texas, we know, is TX abbreviation. And there it is. It pops up right there. All right, so we got company code 26 Plant Dallas 026 and Conard. Yep, just make sure you use your own unique identifiers. Or I say 26, you should be using your own unique identifiers. So now that we have all that information in, it says in the street address, which is right here, we're going to click this little additional information button here. We're going to click on more fields, and it's going to expand the edit address menu a little bit more. And let's scroll down, and now we need to find jurisdiction, which is going to be right here. So for jurisdiction, we're going to enter Texas tax code. So we're simply going to look it up because I don't know it. And then it already has a state. In the search menu, we're just going to go ahead and click search. And it automatically put the Texas jurisdiction code in for us. So now we're going to select copy, which is down here, or we can just simply hit enter. And it'll bring us back to this screen here. In the new entries, details of added entries, we're going to go ahead and click save. And then once you hit save, it says in the edit DL pop-up, we're just going to hit copy, which is a little check mark down here. And then we're going to receive a message that says our data was saved down here, which we did in fact get, which means we can proceed to the next step. So it says in the details of edit entries, so we're going to hit that back button, and we're going to repeat the same things we just did to create the Miami and the San Diego distribution center. So again, we're going to click, and we can see that here is our Dallas plant. 26 Dallas plant. All right. So for now, we're going to move on to Miami. So again, we're going to click new entries up top. And we're just going to copy the information right over. So that's MI, and then our unique identifier, which is 26. Distribution Center Miami for name one. So our unique identifier plus the name one, and then again, factory calendar. I think I could just hit US here. Yep, there it is. So we got Miami, DC, Miami 6, and US identifier. And then once we hit that, we had to hit address up here. Oh, yeah, it even says it address. So we can click on address once you have that information. And again, for title, we're going to do the drop down, select company, and then just copy over the rest of the information. So name, our unique identifier, we're 26, and I'm going to paste that information. And then for half search, it's going to be 0, and our unique identifier, again, we are 26. And then for street, looks like Blue Lagoon Drive for the street, and for the house number, so I'd copy that over as well. And for the postal code, copying that as well. And oh, city, Miami, country. We saw that was just US earlier. Does it come out in the drop down? Oh, perfect. There it goes. US. I'm going to select that. And then region is going to be Florida. Florida is FL. And as we can see that, we can click that in this little drop down menu. And last but not least, we got to hit expand or the more fields button here. Get that to open up, and then find jurisdiction button, which is box, which is here. And we're going to search for that Florida jurisdiction code. Florida's already in the state search. If it's not, go ahead and type it in yourself. And then just hit enter. and we're gonna get that Florida jurisdiction code. And then once we have that, we're gonna hit the green check mark down here. And then we'll be in this screen. We're gonna hit save. And then we're gonna have this once again, and we're gonna hit copy, and that's when we should get that saved data here. So make sure you get the saved data, or else every step you did is not going to be saved, or parts of it will not be saved. So once we got that saved, now we can hit back and we can start with our San Diego plant. So, and in fact, here we can see our 26 DC Miami plant being made. And let's see, let's move forward to San Diego. For San Diego, again, click new entries up top. Plant is going to be called SD and our unique identifier. And then name, go ahead and copy this over with our unique identifier, DC San Diego. Looks weird. And for factory calendar, it is again going to be the US. So we have these three pieces of information here. Now we're going to, oh, keep wanting to hit save, but it's going to be the address field up top. And again, just fill it out. Title is going to be company, use that drop down. Menu here, our unique identifier, plus DC San Diego. Half search term is going to be 0 and our unique identifier. It looks like our street is going to be Spear Street. House number is going to be 150. Zip code here. And again, the city, the country is going to be US. Click on that drop-down menu, and San Diego is in California. Yep. Just making sure it's not a different San Diego. And right here, California. So let's see, company. Yep, everything looks good. And the only thing that we're missing now is a jurisdiction code. So let's go ahead and hit that More Fields button. Find the jurisdiction code box, click little search button next to it. California is already selected. We're going to hit search. And we got that California jurisdiction code. We're going to hit that green check mark. And then we're going to hit save. And then once again, we're going to hit the green check mark. And we will get that saved data. Make sure you are getting these saved data, because if you're not, your information again is not saving. So that completes our section 1.1. And now we're going to be moving on to section 1.2. You can see our DC San Diego distribution plant there. Let's close out of that. And we're just going to hit go back to this S Pro menu. So section 1.2, view calendar options. So in this section, you will view the factory and holiday calendars. This will provide an idea of what the physical year consists of and how it is configured with holidays that occur over the year. So let's follow this navigation path. So SAP implementation, SPNet weather, general settings, and maintain calendar right here. So right here, there's our T code and maintain calendar. Let's go ahead and open that up. So it says in the SAP calendar main menu, which we are in the factory calendar, down at the bottom button, click display. Let's click that, click display. And we're going to see the display factory overview, display factory calendar overview. And here we can see different countries with different options. So we're going to scroll down to USA right here. All right, so we're gonna select USA, and then we are gonna click these little glasses up here where it says calendar. And then it says how many work days does the year 2016 have? And we can see number of work days here. So it looks like 2016 was a leap year. So it says here we're gonna hit back, and we're gonna hit back again. So then we should be in the SAP calendar main menu. And now we're going to select holiday calendar and click the display button. And then again, we're going to highlight the United States. So scrolling down to USA and then clicking display up top, or excuse me, calendar. All right, it says how many holidays are on Sunday according to the 2016 calendar. So let's just scroll down. I'm just going to highlight it. So we can see how many holidays, what is it, Sunday? So 0 on a Saturday, and it looks like we only have 1 on a Sunday. It's probably Easter. Easter's always on a Sunday, I believe. Um, and looks like that's it for that. So it says, uh, oh, so now in this screen and display public, yep, double click the year 2019. Let's unselect 20, deselect then, button up here. All right, and now it says 2019. Double click 2019. And it has no other steps for us here, but if we double click this, we can see that the year of 2019 is highlighted, and it gives us for the exact year, we can see when every single holiday lands. So if you want to see holidays for the current year, we could double click 2026, and we can see when every holiday lands in the current year. All right, so it looks like that's it for 1.2. Let's go back into the SAP Easy Custom um, implementation. Let's go back again, right here. All right. So now we are in section 1.3, assign plants to company code. In this section, you will associate your 3 new plants to your company code. Each plant can be associated with exactly 1 company code. So let's get started. So in the SAP implementation guide, let's follow this file path. So let's go to enterprise structure, assignment here, logistics/general, and assign plant to company code. Yep, the top one, that is correct. There is that shortcut to get to that menu. And let's go ahead and enter this screen, and it says in the change view assignments plants dash company code overview. Yep, we're in the correct area. We're going to click on new entries, which is located right up top as always. All right, here we are. So in the new entries overview of added entries screen, enter the following information for COCD company code R Global Bike Inc. So let's go ahead and search that. If you know your Global Bike Inc., go ahead and type it in. And it looks like we're going to be looking for our US number. Since my unique identifier is 26, I'm going to use mine, US 26, and you can go ahead and use your number, US, and your respective number. So for a Dallas plant, I'm just going to simply search it up and find our unique identifier. So here it is, Dallas, and I am 26, so I'm going to double click DL26. So the company code is going to be the same for the rest. So we can actually just copy and paste our company code because we need our DC Miami as well as our DC San Diego. Remember, Miami was MI and use your unique identifier code. And let me go back. Yep, there it is. And then San Diego was SD and our company code. There it is. We can select it there. All right. So now that we have all this information, it says press enter. And the information was entered. And now we can click save. And we'll receive this message that says data was saved. All right, that's it for section 1.3. Let's back out to the implementation guide. Let's go right there. All right, so now section 1.4. In this section, you'll view the organizational level materials are valued at. Oh, excuse me. You'll view what organizational level materials are valued at. So be sure to use your display/change button so you do not change anything. All right, let's keep that in mind. So let's follow this file path here. SAP Easy Customization Implementation Guide, Enterprise Structure, Definition, Logistics General, Define, Valuation Level right there for us. We need a T code, there it is. And then what is evaluation level? All right, so it looks like the valuation level, valuation area is plant. That is the one that's currently selected. All right, well, that was pretty easy. And there, into the implementation guide. So section 1.5, assign a material ledger to type uh, assign material ledger type to valuation areas. In this step, you will assign a material ledger type to each of your plants. The material ledger type determines the currency in which the materials will be evaluated. Each GBI's plants will use the company code currency for valuation. All right, so let's go ahead and set that up. So in the implementation guide, let's go ahead and follow this file path. So we're going to scroll down to controlling, product, cost controlling, annual cost/material ledger. That's the one. And then assign material ledger. Is it this one? Assign material ledger types to valuation area. All right, here we go. That's the one. If we need a T code, there it is. Yep. All right, so let's go ahead and open up this menu. And this, so we should be in the change view assignments of material ledger types to valuation areas. So that is indeed the correct menu that we are in. So once we're in this menu, we're going to click new entries right here, right up top. Okay. And in the new entries overview of entries added screen, enter the following information. Our Dallas plant. So our Dallas plant is going to be DL and our unique identifier. And along with maintenance over here, it says currency type /valuation type. Let's go ahead and look that up. It's the only thing that's available. And looks like we're going to do the same thing for our Miami and our San Diego plants. So remember, Miami's MI and our unique identifier. And then it's going to be the same thing. So it should be 912. Oh, there we go. It's the only thing that's available. So, and then our San Diego plant is going to be SD and our unique identifier. And then again, the currency type val/val10 is the only thing that's available. So once we have all that information entered, we got our Dallas, Miami, and San Diego plants as well as this information entered correctly. Let's go ahead and it says just hit save. Just those three. Yep, click save. and you should receive a message that says data was saved. All right, let's go back to the implementation guide. So now we are in section 1.6, activate material ledger. When a plant is created, the material ledger must be activated to ensure that costs are reconciled correctly across GPI. The material ledger acts as a subledger for material inventories and enables a company to value its inventory in multiple currencies. So let's follow this file path. So controlling product cost, controlling, there we go. And then actual, I think it's that one. And then activate, that's an activate. All right, activate material ledger for valuation area. There we go. There's our T code if we need it, which we do. Let's go ahead and open up this menu. So now it says in the select activity, pop up double click activate material ledger, which is a second option. We're going to double click that second option. In the change view, activation of material ledger overview, screen enter the following information. So let's see. So, so your valuation area. All right, so Dallas. This is our Dallas 26. Our global bike. I can't really see with mine selected. Let's deselect. There we go. Click on that one. So our Dallas DL26, US26, 9,000, and then it says material or ML account needs to be selected. All right, so there we are. And transaction based. So let's click here. Let's hit search. And transaction base is going to be number 2. Double click on that. So I'm just going to highlight mine so I can see which ones are my distribution plans. So it looks like the only thing we're doing for all of them is making sure that the ML account is selected and everything is transaction based. So I'm going to go ahead and select these two and put in the number 2, see, transaction based for my company codes. Because the rest of the information should be in there and it should be correct. All right, so now that all that, I'm going to deselect these before I save. Just want to make sure that it was a lot easier for me to see my information. So, all right, so now that our information is all correct, we're going to go ahead and hit save. We have this pop-up menu, the information menu pop-up. We just go ahead and click that check mark, and then now we can see that our data was in fact saved. Well, looks like we're going to go straight into the SAP Easy Access menu. So we're just gonna back all the way up. All right, there we go, SAP Easy Access menu. So for section 1.7, set valuation area as productive. In this section, you will set each plant to productive. This enables materials to be extended in accounting and cost views in plants that have been assigned a material ledger. All right, so let's go ahead and follow this this file path. Logistics, materials manager, valuation, actual cost / material ledger, environment, production, startup, and set valuation. Oh, I have the top one. Set valuation area as productive. So if it's looking for the T code, it's going to be right there for you. So set valuation area as productive. We're going to double click to enter this menu, and it says in the production startup of Mat Ledger, materials ledger, enter the following information, which are in that correct menu. All right, so our Dallas plant. Remember our Dallas is DL and our unique identifier. And now we want to deselect background processing and test run. And once we have our plant entered up here, we're just going to hit and these two boxes deselected. We're going to go ahead and execute. And it says you receive a message that says step unlock materials in plant. So yep, step unlock materials in plant. We have all green boxes, which means it went through. It says one warning, but oh, none found. Oh, well, that's good. And then the green boxes are just information. Yeah, it all went well. If you have any red warnings or any of these, you're gonna have to get some help. Yeah, because red are gonna be errors and stops, probably just terminations. But yeah, it all should check out. So we're gonna hit back twice. So once and twice. And now we're gonna do the same thing but for our Miami plant. So go ahead and enter your DC Miami plant. It should be MI and your unique identifier. Again, these things are deselected, and we're just going to go ahead and hit execute again. And we should have the same thing. No problem here. We're going to hit back twice and do the same thing for our San Diego plant, which is going to be SD and our unique identifier. Again, nothing is selected here. And we're just going to go ahead and execute. And again, no problems here. And now it says that we're going to receive a message that says the material ledger can be reconciled in FL or F1 in valuation area and our company code there. So looks like we completed all this correct. If you had any errors, go ahead and see what step you might have missed. But if you get this message here, you should be good to go. All right, that's section 1.7 complete. Now back up to this is the easy access menu. So here we're just going to type in SPRO up top and there to get to the implementation guide. So section 1.8. Maintain purchasing organization. In this section, you will create a purchasing organization, US and your number. You will need a purchasing organization to negotiate conditions of purchase with vendors. So let's follow this file path. So let's go to enterprise structure, definition, materials management, and maintain purchasing organization. Here we are, and it looks like we need T code. So let's go ahead and pop that up. There it is. We're going to go ahead and enter that menu. So it says in the change view purchasing organizations overview screen, highlight purchase organization US00. All right. So make sure that you do highlight this original company code, the US00. And yep, we're going to have to hit copy as. So copy as is going to be right here. So we're basically just going to make a copy and make our own. So copy as. And it says you'll receive a message that says one entry chosen, which we got down here. And now we should be in the change view, purchasing organizations overview of selected set screen, which we are. And we're going to enter this following information. So we're simply going to change this to our company code. So go ahead and enter your company code. And once we have gone ahead and entered our number, our company code in, we're just going to go ahead and press copy, which is going to be right down here. So copy. And it says you will receive a message that says number of entries copied 1, which is correct. And we're going to go ahead and hit save. And we're going to get this data was saved down here. Yep, and looks like that's about it for 1.8. And let's go back to the implementation guide. So section 1.9, assign purchasing organizations to company code. In this section, you will associate your purchasing organization, US and your number, to your company code. GBI has adopted a company level module. Your purchasing organization, US, your company code will be associated with only your company code. All right, so let's go ahead and follow this file path. So enterprise structure, assignment, materials management, assign purchasing organization to company code. Looks like it's going to be this top one for us. Assign purchasing organization to company code. Yep, that's correct. If you need the T code, there it is. Let's go ahead, enter that menu. So in the change view, assign purchasing organizations, company code overview. Looks like we don't have enough space. Screen, which we are in. We're going to enter the following information. Actually looks like the information is already entered. So we just need to find ours. Our US company code, our GBI, and then for company, oh, we just need to put our company code in here. So we're just going to simply search that up. Oh, purchasing organization is good, description is good, but these are company code. So we're 26, okay. So it should be that US number along with your company code. I'm pretty sure you can probably even just type that in. And it should give you a drop-down menu. So just to find your company code. Anyway, once you put your company code in, go ahead and hit save. It should populate, yep. So now we can see that it no longer says does not exist. And we are good to go. And we can see that our data was saved down here. So we can move forward to the next step. And let's go back to the implementation guide. All right, section 1.0, assign purchasing organizations to plant. In this section, you will associate your 3 plants to your purchasing organizations. In the previous step, you created a purchasing organization, then associate that purchasing organization to your company code. In this step, you'll associate each of your plants to a purchasing organization. GBI managers and their, excuse me, GBI managers and their contracts. GBI managers GBI manages their contracts and their pricing through a company level procurement strategy. Specifically, uh, all the plants within your company code and only your company code are associated with your purchasing organization. So let's follow this navigation path. So enterprise structure, assignment, materials management, assign, should be to plant. So is it this one? Assign purchasing organization. Yep. Assign purchasing organization to plant. There we go. So if we need a T code, there it is. Let's go and open that up. So now we should be in the change view, assign purchasing organization to plant overview screen. All right. So here we're going to click new entries up top. And now we should be in new entries overview of added entries screen. So we're going to enter our GBI, which we are 26 right here. Double click. And our Dallas plant. So let's see if we can just look it up. No, DL26. There we are. And we're just going to copy our company code because we need it for our Miami and San Diego plant as well. So Miami's MI26. There it is. And it's going to be DL. Oh no, excuse me, San Diego 26. There it is. So we got our company code here, our purchasing organization here, Dallas plant, Miami plant, and San Diego plant. And let's see, use a scroll bar if you don't see a purchasing organization to the right. Ours is on the left. If you don't see it, push it right away. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and click save, and we're gonna get this message that says data was saved. Looks like we're going back to the implementation guide. And right here. So section 1.11, create purchasing group. In this section, you will create a purchasing group. You will need your purchasing group to do day-to-day purchasing activities, such as approve purchasing requisitions. In later steps, you will associate your purchasing group to your materials. So let's follow this navigation path. So materials management. There it is right here, materials management. Purchasing. And did I click purchasing? Oh yeah. And now create purchasing groups. Yep, that is it right there. There's our T code if we need it, which we do. So we're gonna go ahead and enter this menu. What was the top menu? Go ahead and enter that menu. So in the change view, purchasing groups overview screen, click new entries. New entries right up top. And the new entries, overview of added entries screen, enter the following information. So we're gonna type in N, add our unique identifier, followed by the description, so our unique identifier, followed by North America. So again, that's going to be N and your unique identifier, followed by your unique identifier and North America. Once that information has been entered, we're going to go ahead and hit save. And we're going to get this data was saved message down there. And that's about it for that step. So it looks like we're going to go back to the implementation guide. So section 1.12, maintain storage locations. In this section, you'll create storage locations within your 3 plants. Storage locations, example, raw material, trading goods, finished goods, indicate whether materials are physically kept, tracking the on-hand quantity of each material, and indicate asset valuation. There must be one or more storage locations within a plant. You can assign more than one storage location to the same warehouse number within a plant. It is also possible to store material data specific to a storage location. Stock is managed only on a quantity basis and not on a value basis at storage location level in the system. So it looks like you can only track it based on how much you have, not on how much it's worth, according to this. Anyway, continuing on, let's follow this navigation path. So enterprise structure, definition, materials management, maintain storage location right there. If we need the T code, there it is. Maintain storage location. We're going to click on this. And now it says, oh, we need to enter Dallas plant. So Dallas can be DL plus our unique identifier. All right, so Dallas, there we go. 26, and we're gonna hit the green check mark or hit enter to continue. And now we should be in the change view storage locations overview, which we currently are. So we're gonna hit new entries, which is gonna be up top. And now we should be in the new entries overview of added entry screen, which you can see what we are. So for S location, we're gonna type in FG and our unique identifier, which is 26. And looks like that's going to stand for finished goods. I'm going to go ahead and copy that over. And MI 26. Use your unique identifier. We're going to go ahead and copy that and put that in. And looks up SF, followed by your unique identifier, which is semi-finished goods. Put that in there, followed by our M and our unique identifier. It'll be raw material. And RE, our unique identifier, is going to be returns. So let's double check to make sure we have anything. FG, finished goods. MI, miscellaneous. SF, semi-finished goods. RM, raw material. RE, returns. And it has all our correct unique identifier. So once we have all that information entered, we're going to go and hit save. And we're going to see this message, data was saved. So once all this information has been entered and it has been saved, it says click exit, which is going to be right up here. And now it says repeat the previous steps to complete our Miami and San Diego plants. So let's go ahead and enter this screen again. But now we're going to enter our Miami plant, which is MI and our unique identifier. We're going to go ahead, click that green check mark or hit enter. And now when we're the screen, we're going to hit new entries. And we can see our plant number is up here. We don't have to enter the plant, but we should be in our plant. And now for storage location, again, FG, which is going to be, right? Oh, it's saved from last time. Perfect. And MI 26, and then that was miscellaneous. So if you guys already entered this information, you can should be able to just do that. Select it, RE26, which was returns. And TG. TG26, which we do not have this one entered yet, which would be trading goods. Looks like someone else entered that information. So let's double check to make sure we have everything. We have FG, finished goods, MI for miscellaneous, RE for returns, and TG for trading goods. And looks like that's all that's going to be in our, so 1, 2, 3, 4 things in our DC Miami plant. Correct numbers. And once we have all that information entered correctly, we're going to go ahead and hit save. We can see our data was saved, and we're going to hit exit and go back into that menu once again to complete our San Diego plant. So I'm just going to type in SD and our unique identifier and click new entries. So again, FG and our unique identifier, which is finished goods. Perfect. MI 26 along with miscellaneous RE, which is returns, and TG two, there you go, which is trading goods. So let's see. One, two, three, four. Yeah. Finished goods, miscellaneous, returns, and trading goods. So yeah, only four. Yep, that looks about it. Yep. So we got the one, two, three, four, all our unique numbers. And once we're done with that, we're gonna go ahead and hit save. We'll get the message as data was saved, and then we can exit out of here. That's all for that section. And looks like we finished the enterprise structure. And we're going to move forward with our rules and parameters, starting with section 2.1, which is determine tax versions. All right, so in this section, you will set the number of tax codes and tax rates that can be associated with a given vendor or vendor invoice. SAP allows up to 4 different tax codes and tax rates per vendor and per vendor invoice. In this step, you limit your GBI user to only one tax code and one tax rate per vendor and per vendor invoice. In order to minimize screen clutter and improve the user experience, note that for the first time, we're not using the SAP customization implementation guide, but are directly entering uh, a table using a simple editor. This this is accessed by another area menu. So uh, for this step, uh, if you have your error log open, um, if you have your error log open, this is a step that I ran into, and you can see it's actually the first error for chapter 4. I went ahead and edited the menu here to address this error, but I'm just going to um, address the error as it comes up. So it's telling you to follow this navigation path. Let's go back to the easy access menu, the SAP easy access menu. So it's telling you to follow this navigation path, but the thing is that this navigation path does not exist, and you can actually see that reflected in the error log. And you can't use these codes either. So what so what it's suggesting, as you can see in the error log, it says use we're going to use the SM, and I highlighted it here in red. So we're going to use the T code SM30 to get to the location we need to get to, SM30, to get to this edit tables and view initial screen. So if we type in SM30 in the top, click enter. So it's going to take us straight to the edit tables view initial screen. As we can see that's the um, screen that we're on. So now it's saying in this screen, enter the following information. So we're going to double click that. Let's go ahead and copy it over. And now we're simply, so it doesn't say change anything else. Now it says to click maintain, which is right here. So now we should be in the change view of parameters, invoice verification overview screen. So now that we are in this screen, we should click new entries, which is right here. So now once we are in the new entry screen, let me just double check to make sure I'm not missing any other errors. It says there was also an error. So chapter 4, section 211. So the next one's not until um, section 2, part 5. So we should be good for now. Anyway, so now that we're in the new entries, detail of added entry screen, we're going to enter the following information. So our company code, which should just be US26. And you're going to enter your number. Yep, company code. And then PO box, make sure that that box is selected. Excuse me, PO text box is selected. And then for the tax version, which is right here, it's a drop down. So one tax amount and one tax code. So right here, it's going to be the top one tax amount and one tax code. Make sure that that's selected. So once that has been selected, go and hit save. Yep, code, PO text box selected, and one tax amount and tax code. All right, and we'll get the message that says data was saved, which means we did that step correctly. All right. So back to the SAP Easy Access menu. So section 2.2, maintain default values for tax codes. In this section, you will specify the default values for the tax code to be used during the invoice verification process. GBI personnel will be more efficient during the invoice verification process since the corrected tax code is defaulted into their screen. So in order to make that happen, we're going to be in, oh, no, we're going to go to the implement, implementation guide. So that's SPRO. And right here, implementation guide. So after we're in the screen, materials maintenance. There it is. Logistics. There it is. Incoming invoice. There it is. And then maintain default values for tax code. All right. Looks like it's the third one down. Maintain default values for tax code. All right. Let's go ahead and find that T code. There it is. So let's go ahead and enter the screen. So we should be in the change view, tax defaults in invoice verification overview, which we are. We're going to select new entries, which is located up top. All right, and the new entries, details of added entries screen, which we are in, we're going to enter our company code. And then once we have entered our company code, we're just going to go ahead and hit enter. And it's going to populate this information here. And now it says enter the following information for default domestic screen here under tax code here. We're going to search for input tax, which should be XI. That makes sense. X and input, X and output. All right. So again, all we need is company code. Hit enter, that'll populate there. And then for the default domestics, tax code is just going to be that input tax or XI here. Once that information has been entered, we can go ahead and click save. We'll get the message that says data was saved. All right, perfect. And now it wants us to go to the SAP, okay, back to the implementation guide. All right, so now we got to uh, follow this file path. So financial accounting global settings, tax, calculation, and define, is that the top one? Define tax codes for sales and purchases. It is indeed the top one. There's our T code if we need it, but we don't. So let's go ahead and enter that menu. So in the country pop-up, in the pop-up, enter the following. So we're going to enter USA. Oh, it should just be US. Let me double check. Scroll all the way down. NLPQ, there it is. Yeah, so it is US. So US. And let's go ahead and click continue. And we will be brought to the maintain tax codes initial screen. For the tax code, we're going to put input tax. Hit that search box. Should be the XI again. Yeah, there it is. Input tax. And now for tax jurisdiction, we're going to find Texas. So we're simply going to put TX for Texas in the state and hit search. And it'll give us that tax code. There it is. Double click on that. And it'll give us our Texas tax code jurisdiction. Once that information has been hold on. Once this information has been entered, it says click enter, and we're going to get all this. So it says you do not have the ability to use your display/change button. Be extra careful. Do not change anything on the screen. So just make sure to don't change any of the values. Mine are all currently set to 0, so I'm just not going to change these. And once that has gone through, we're just going to save. So it says, what is a procedure for these tax rates? So we can see the procedures right there. And what is the tax percent rate rate for expensed items? And we got expensed. And it looks like that is our tax code. So that I guess that would be our tax rate. Sales tax, AP, sales tax expense. Yep, right there. So that answers those two questions. And is there any more? Nope. All right. So just make sure not to change anything, answer those questions, and then go ahead and click save. It says no changes have been made, but that's completely fine. And moving on to section 2.3. So let's go back to the implementation guide. So now we are on section 2.3, view different material types. So let's see, section 2.3, view different material, view different material types. Okay, in this section, you'll view the different material types that have been pre-configured in your GBI. Each material created in the system will fall under one of these material types. Material types also help determine user departments, price controls, account category, and valuation. So again, we can't use the display/change button, so let's be careful not to change anything. Let's follow this navigation path. So in the implementation guide, so logistics, general, materials master, basic settings. Is that right? Yep, there it is. Basic settings, material types. There it is. And define attribute. There it is. Define attribute of material type. So if we need T code, there it is. And let's go ahead and enter that screen. So in the change view material types overview screen, highlight the finished products or FERT for clothes. So this should be alphabetical. FERT, there it is, finished products. So it says highlight. We're just going to click on that. And then we're just going to click details, which is up top. Details. In display view material types overview screen, answer the following question. All right, so what is a price control to finished goods? There it is, price control under valuation. And then what is the account category? Right below it. If we have to look up what that means, we can see it right there. Um, and then what is the quality slash value updating radio button selected to? Oh, so this. So what is a quality? Oh, so both quality value updating buttons, so we can see which button is selected. And that is all. So let's make sure not to change anything here. You can click the display view, but I just simply didn't check anything, so I'm just going to hit back. And we're going to repeat the same steps for the following information. So let's deselect that one. And now we're going to do it for trading goods or H. How? There it is, trading goods. And we're going to click details and answer the following information as well. So we can see there's price controls, account referencing, what else? Quality. Oh, and then we can see those buttons there. And if we need to select that screen again, we can probably answer it for the, we can see what the numbers are. So we can see what 05 is right there. And close that out. So that's pretty much it for that one. And let's go back and do it for the next one, which it looks like it's U, which should probably be at the bottom. Non-evaluated materials. Yep. So again, details. And again, it looks like if it wants something for price control, nothing is selected. 0007 for account reference. There we go. There's that information there. And then the buttons that are selected looks like they are a little bit different. And we're just going to hit exit once we've answered those questions. And then no, we're not going to save. Just in case we accidentally change something, we're just going to hit no because we didn't have to change anything. We were only answering these questions here. So let's back to the implementation guide. So section 2.4, define attributes of material types. So in this section, you will specify valuation techniques for your material types. Material types already exist in your SAP instance. In this section, you indicated what you want to track, the quantity and value of each material type within each storage location within each plant. So let's follow this navigation path. So logistics slash dash general materials master basic settings material types and attributes define attributes of material type. So if we need the T code, there it is. Let's go ahead and get into that menu. So in the change view material types overview screen, highlight BERT, which is the finished goods, I believe. Yep. Gonna highlight BERT. So once it's highlighted, let's just make sure that nothing is highlighted. So let's deselect everything. And let's click FERT. Nothing should be highlighted, but just in case. So once FERT is highlighted, we're going to double click on the quality slash value updating, which is right there. Double click. Let's see, double click. So in the change view quality, Where's our value update overview screen? Enter the following information. So let's find our, wait, no, we're finding our DL. I'm just going to highlight all of mine for now. Since I'm 2.6, I'm highlighting 2.6. You highlight your numbers. And it says, I'm just double checking. So yeah, it looks like we're going to want our DL FERT, Miami FERT, and San Diego FERT, which is what we selected. And it says make sure that quantity updating is selected, which is going to be that first box. So we're just going to make sure that all of these are selected. Yep, they'll want it selected, as well as material type. Hold on. Oh, okay, I got a little confused. Okay, quantity update. So then value updating is also selected, value updating. And okay, there we go. And value updating and value updating. Yeah, so for all, we want the quality type and value updating selected. So let's make sure that we have them both selected. Oh, it looks like I missed this one. So yeah, just make sure that they're all selected for your distribution plants to your number. Now I'm just going to simply deselect these since it never asked me to select them in the first place. I just highlighted them so I could see my accounts a lot easier. So once they are all selected, we're just going to go ahead and hit save. And as you see, you might get this message that says, um, changing the quality / value update may cause inconsistencies. So if we do get that, that is perfectly normal. Um, let's go ahead and save again because we did not. Okay, there we go. And now we got the, or we can just hit enter to get rid of that pop-up menu. I just went ahead and hit save again, but I got that data was saved button, which is what matters. So once we have entered that information, we're going to go ahead and click back. And now that we're in this materials types again, I'm just going to simply hit deselect to make sure that nothing else is selected. And habla. Halb. We're going to select this HALB, which is semi-finished goods. And again, double click on the quality value updating. And now we should be in the screen again. Yep, only Halb, HABLB, should be visible here. So now that we are in this screen, let's see, looks like we're doing the same thing for our, let's see, quality, yeah, selected, selected, and those selected. All right, so again, I'm just going to highlight my plants because I'm 2.6. So it makes it easier for me to see. So we, again, want the quantity updating and value updating selected. So let's go ahead and select those. For our DC, our Dallas plant, our Miami plant, and our San Diego plant. Once they've been selected, we're going to deselect these boxes because they were told us to select in the first place. And we're just going to hit save. And again, if we get that message, we can just hit enter on our keyboard and we can see that our data was saved. Or you just hit save again and it should say data saved. It says data was already saved. You are good. Uh-huh. So it says now we're going to go back. And now we're going to go for HAWA, whatever that is. Let's deselect. Let's make sure, here it is, trading goods. And double click quality value updating. And now we should be in the screen again. And it looks like quantity and value updating. Quality and value. Okay, so again, I'm just going to select my plants since I'm 2.6. And just going to double click these two boxes, make sure they're selected. Dallas, Miami, and San Diego. So once they've all been selected, again, we can just hit save. Gonna get that message again. Click enter, it says data saved, or again, hit save again. And all right, so let's see. We're gonna go back. Now we're gonna do it for ROH. I'm gonna hit deselect to make sure nothing's selected. And as we scroll down, there it is, ROH. These are in alphabetical order, so ROH, raw material. So now that raw materials has been selected, we're going to do the same thing. Double click on the quality value updating. And it looks like it's going to be the same thing. Quality and value updating, quality value updating. And yep. So let me double check. Quality and value updating. 2.6 quality value updating. And 2.6 quality value updating. Perfect. Perfect. And perfect. So again, once that has been selected, hit save and make sure we get that data was saved button down below. And looks like that's it for that. And moving on to section 2.5. So for this, we got to go to the SAP Easy Access menu. So we're just going to back all the way out. All right, now we're in the SAP Easy Access menu. So section 2.5, view account category and valuation in class. So in this section, you'll compare account categories and valuation classes to see how they are connected. So in the SAP Easy Access menu, we're going to list file path, logistics, materials management, materials master. Where is it? There it is. Material display and display current. All right, so double click to open up the screen. So if you remember in our error code 2.5 is where we're gonna have that error. So chapter 4, section 2, or step or section 2.5, step 2. Which is this step. Yeah, so section 2.5. Um, we're gonna have this error here. So yeah, chapter 4, step 2.5.2. We have this error in the error log. So I actually entered these screenshots, which should help a lot. Also, when it says original, that's talking about the 00 plant. That's the original plant. That's the plant that has some of the information that we used to copy to. So whenever it says original, that's what it's referring to. So if we look at this, it just gives us some more information. And I kind of made it a lot easier on this side. This is a little bit confusing. You still have to kind of know what you're doing. If you've dealt with this data before, with this GBI data, you might recall that if you use the 1000 series, it gives you the silver bikes and parts. And then let's see, this will return all your materials. Okay, all materials start with 1000. So all materials start with 1000. I also believe it's your silver bikes as well. And then this will not return finish. So for bike or bike frames, if you use the 2000, it's going to be red. Oh, excuse me. I think this might be, I think that might be incorrect. But I think the 1000 silver, the 2000s are black, and the 3000s are red. Anyway, so if you've dealt with this data before, you kind of know how this goes. And it's telling you what to enter. But I'm going to walk you through this. So even the error log's a little bit inconsistent with how to fix this problem. So I kind of made my own thing over here that'll show you how to walk through it. But if you do encounter that error log and you kind of know what you're doing, you can use the error log to figure it out. If you don't know how, then you can just simply follow the screen. You will see that I have added these screenshots in here to help you. And again, I'm going to explain it to you as we go along. So now that we have entered this menu, so we should be in the display material initial screen. Um, if we, in order to look for this original material, again, that's going to be our 00 plant, not our own number. So we're just simply going to click this material manager, which is why I included a screenshot. If we click search, in order to search for this original socket head bolt, 5 by 20 millimeter in this area. Also, the error log also kind of mentioned if you use the star, it's kind of like everything before that is going to be the same. Um, let's go over here. So it says um, search based on your search terms in the material name field. So if we use the asterisk or the star as a wildcard in front of the material number, remember all material numbers. Basically, it'll return everything before that as the same. So if we have like GBI something, it's going to return everything the same before that. So in order to demonstrate that here, let's just go ahead and search. So materials, we're going to hit star one. So the reason we're going to put 1000, I know it says to use your own number, because like if I was going to use my own number, it'd be 26. But we need to look for original data or the original things. So for the original, it's going to be 00. Anyway, we're just going to hit search and it'll bring us this original data. So as I stated earlier, the star means that everything in front of it um, doesn't really matter. It's just going to bring up everything with the last uh, numbers. So as we can see, we entered 1000. So it gave us everything with 1000. So I guess I misspoke a little bit earlier. So the front part doesn't, anything in the front part doesn't really matter. It's just, it's going to keep the end the same. So here we can see that these are all of our parts. And oh, okay, so water, aluminum. Oh no, so this is black. Anyway, so we're just looking for our socket head. So it says original, but again, original is going to be our 00. So we're just going to simply click our socket head bolt 5 by 20 millimeters. So double click that and we should get bolt 000. So the easier way to do that would just be to enter bolt 000 so you have your information here, which I kind of wish it would have just told you that. But this kind of tells you how to use this little asterisk thing as well. So once we have entered that information there, we can simply hit enter and we will get this code or this menu in the select view menu, hit the deselect all button to make sure that nothing is selected. And we're going to select accounting one and click the green check mark. So once we've entered this green check mark, we're going to be in the organizational level screen. And it says for plant, use the original plant. So again, the original is going to be 00. So we're just going to enter DL 00. We're going to click enter. And it now wants to know what is the class valuation. I actually did this step using my own company code and the original plant code. So either way, it's going to give you the same thing. So for valuation code, where would that be? Valuation class. Valuation class is going to be right here. If we want to know what that means, we could just hit that search menu and it'll tell us right here. Anyway, don't change anything here. Well, we can't change its display anyway. So, all right, so now that we've identified the valuation class, we're going to simply hit back. And in the screen again, now we're going to look for our off-road, um, original off-road helmet. So again, that's going to be the 1000 series. So if we hit the search, again, we're going to hit star as we did earlier. So everything in front of it's going to be the same. And we're just going to enter 10, followed by the original, which is going to be 00. Gonna hit enter. Again, if you want to use your own code, you can. It's going to be the same for everything, but it's telling us to use original, so that's why we are using original. So for original off-road helmet, let's see if we can find off-road helmet. Here we go. Double click off-road helmet. Gonna hit enter, or is it? Yeah, I'm gonna hit enter or continue down there. Deselect just to make sure nothing's selected. Click accounting one, click the green check mark. And now plant. I mean, if you search for plant, it says original Miami plant. Yeah, so you can only look for the original Miami plants anyway. So anyway, there goes that. Gonna click enter, and it says, what is the valuation class? There it is. And if you want to know the actual name for it, we can just hit that little search button. And it looks like it's the only thing available. Yep, so there it is right there. We're gonna kick back, not black. So now in the initial screen, again, we're going to hit the search button, and then this is where I entered it because it wants our deluxe touring red, which let's see, what did it say? What did this say it was? Yeah, because this is off. Because it says red is the oh, it just wants us to find red, but over here it's saying that silver's 3000, red's 2000. Anyway, we can simply search for it. So in this menu, as we did earlier, we hit the search button. So star, I had entered 3000 earlier. So 30 is just the number and then our company code. But since it wants us to find the original, we use the original company code, which is 00. I'm gonna hit start search. So yeah, so see how we get red for that. And if we were to, again, if you're familiar with this, we can hit search, and if we use the 2000 series, if we ever need to, we can see that the red is going to be the, oh, red's, okay, so the 2000 series is going to be the silver, which means the 1000 series has some of the black, the 1000 series has a black, the back black bikes. The 2000 series has the silver bikes, and then the 3000 series is going to have the red bikes. That's where some of the confusion was with the error log. Anyway, so since we need the red, we're simply going to hit 3000 for the original. So it wants the original deluxe touring bike red, which is going to be the top one. So it's going to be the DXTR 3000. And hit enter. Again, deselect, select accounting, check enter. And now we are going to be entering our Dallas plant, or excuse me, the original Dallas plant. And we're going to hit enter. And again, we're just checking the valuation class, which is right there. And if we need to know what that is, 7920 is going to be a finished product if we open that up. And after that, that is all. We're going to hit exit transaction. So let me check when the next error will appear. So that's 25. The next error will appear not until section 3. So we should be good for a while. All right. So So, oh, actually, this section's not done. Okay, so it wants us to follow this navigation. So, or so an implementation guide, so materials master, excuse me, materials management, not master, materials management, valuation, account determination, determination without any wizards, without wizard without wizard, yeah, without wizard, and then define valuation classes, which is this one. If we need the T code, no, we don't need T code. All right, so define valuation classes, right? Let's go ahead and open up that menu. So in the account category reference / valuation classes, which is the screen we're on, click on valuation button. So it's going to bring us to this screen here. Now, it just wants us to answer the following questions. What is a valuation class for raw material one? Oh, raw material one, here we go. Valuation class is here. And we can see that this is what it means. Description. And then for trading goods, what can I see? There it is. Valuation class, definition right there. Finished products down here, valuation class, description. And then the A reference for material one, there we go. It's right there. A reference for trading good. You guys get it, right? You guys can find everything you need to answer this based on this screen. So once we're there, we're just going to simply hit back. And now we're going to hit account category reference. And again, we're just going to answer the following things. What's the A reference for raw material? You guys can find it. You guys got this, right? You guys don't need me to walk you through this, but anything you need, you can just answer in the screen. The A reference is right here, description's right here, so you can figure that out pretty easily. You're gonna head back, and finally, in the account category evaluation classes, account category. Yes, first we went valuation class, so account category class. Click back. In the account category evaluation class screen, click on material. There we go. So the last one. To answer the following questions. So, okay, so it's just asking what is one example of material type with raw material as a reference. So, if you don't remember your reference numbers, here's the A reference, right? But if we kind of just look at this, we can go ahead and read down what it is, packaging. So let's kind of go down till we find it. So raw material right here, it's going to be 001. So where do we find 001? Here we go. Here we go. It's probably the easiest way to spot it. We can see that's going to be raw material. So you can go ahead and answer that. And then for the next one, it's going to say what is one of semi-finished goods. So let's go ahead and find semi-finished goods on this side right here. So it's going to be 008. So if we just kind of go down, we can find them fairly easy as so. There's another one. And then the last one's going to be finished product. So finished product. So it's going to be that number right there. So again, it's a lot easier to find, but that seems to be, oh, here's another one right there. Anyway, so that's how you can kind of identify that. So we're going to go, let's hit exit. We're not going to save anything. And let's go back to the implementation guide. All right, so now section 2.6. Group together valuation areas. In this section, you will associate each of your 3 plants. So we got Dallas, Miami, and San Diego to valuation grouping code 0001. Note that this valuation group code already exists within your SAP instance. This will ensure at a very high level that your 3 plants use similar general ledger conversions during material movement transactions. So in order to set this up, we're going to follow this guide. So materials management, there it is. Valuation There it is, valuation, account determination without wizard. There we go. And group together valuation areas. Okay. Is that not where we were just at? Or were we in something else? Oh, we were in classes before. So now we are going in valuation areas. Do we need T code? Yes, we do need T code. There we go. T code. And let's go ahead and enter the valuation areas. So looks like, all right, let's find Dallas, our Dallas plant, which is going to be 26. So Dallas is already entered, our company code's already entered, our company name's already entered, our GL, our chart of accounts is already entered. Looks like the only thing we need to find, oh, we can't even find, there's no search button. So it looks like the only thing we need to type in is 001, excuse me, 0001. Excuse me. Seems like the only thing we need to find is this 0001. So let's see, let's just highlight all of mine. It looks like everybody else has theirs, so we're just gonna drop that in there. Because it said that it was in this little section, it said that it was already created and it's gonna ensure that everything works out properly. So yeah, for group evaluation code, it gives group evaluation area to facilitate the administration of the table of standard accounts by minimizing the number of entries. All right. So by entering this number, it's going to minimize the number of entries. And it looks like we're just doing that for all of our accounts. And again, I just highlighted mine so I can see our um, our number here and make sure that we enter it all correctly. But since it didn't tell us to select it, we're going to deselect it before we hit save. But now that we have all of information entered, we're just going to go ahead and save. And we'll get that little message that says data was saved. Fantastic. And now we're going to hit back one time. Let's see, it did save. Yep, there it is. There that one is. And this is also a time we can check to make sure that all our information has been entered correctly thus far. But since that information was saved, as it says it was saved, we're going to hit back as the message says. And now it says enter the transaction defined valuation control. So in the same screen, it's going to be one above right here, define valuation control. So if we don't need the T code now. So if we just go ahead and open this up, it says, is a valuation control group active? And we can see there that indeed it is. And looks like that is the end. That's going to be the end for chapter 4, part 1 SAP configuration walkthrough. I hope this helped and I hope to see you guys in the next video.